Hi, Peter Charles here, Hooked Fly Fishing. And today I was out fishing on one of our local creeks and I caught a lovely brown trout, so I'm very happy. But I ran into a problem. So I thought, you know what, it'd be a good idea. Whenever I run into a fishing problem, I get on the computer and do a movie and talk about what I had to deal with. Because I'm sure I'm not the only one who has to run into this kind of stuff. So, thought, man, be a good idea, good subject. Basic problem here with this creek is in the spring we can run into both our resident trout and migratory steelhead. So you have to have relatively robust tackle to handle the steelhead. And I've been there and I've done that. It's not been fun. You go, oh, fish. Oh no, steelhead, snap. You set up for resident trout and a steelhead comes along and it's around 7, 8, 10 pounds and you're done. So I was in that creek with some fairly robust leaders. And I was contact nymphing and I had, the standard nymphs that I use for resident trout. And you know what? For the most part, I wasn't getting near the bottom. And the reason why is that 3X tippet held the nymph off the bottom for a good chunk of the run. I mean, it would sink so slowly that I was only getting where the fish were towards the end of the run. Now, the one spot I did catch a lovely brown trout in, it was a situation where there was a deadfall, the trout was under the deadfall, and it wasn't a deep run, so I was able to get the fly down and it was cool. But there's an awful lot of deadfall in this creek. Trees fall into the creek every winter. So you have to have robust tackle to keep the fish out of that deadfall or they're gone. Worked like a charm in the more shallow run, but when I got to the deeper pools, my fly wasn't near the bottom and I didn't stand a chance. I know there were fish there and I didn't touch them because I couldn't get the fly to them. So the bottom line is here, we have to balance off the robustness of our leader with the weight of the flies. If we're using a relatively thick leader which has a lot of drag and the current will hold it up, then we need quite a heavy nymph to drag it down so we have a chance of getting the fly down where the fish are. If we're fishing lighter tackle, this is not a problem. And a lot of the flies in my fly box are built for lighter tackle. They're built for different areas where I'm not running into this problem, where I have the room to fight a fish, where the fish are not going to be 10, maybe 12, maybe even 15 pounds. And I can, use 5X, 6X, 7X leaders. But not in this creek at this time of year. I can't do that. So it means I have to use a much heavier nymph to get it down. So guess what I was doing when I got home? Tying pheasant tails with lots of lead and a 4mm tungsten bead, because the next time I'm going to go out there, those flies are going to be down where the fish are. So keep that in mind. We have to balance off the density of our leaders, like if it's 3X or 2X or 4X versus the weight of our flies. And if our flies are not heavy enough, it's not going to drag that leader down until towards the end of the drift. So we miss a whole chunk of the drift. So keep that in mind. You've got to balance off your gear. You've got to have, if you're going to go with heavy tippet, you need a heavy fly. Cheers.